Hi everyone.
Greetings.
We're in Crisis of Conscience, chapter on double standards, page 131. The subheading is Two Sorts of Weights for Measuring, and Ray quotes Proverbs 20 verse 23. Two sorts of weights are something detestable to Jehovah, and a cheating pair of scales is not good. Now he begins. It may help to understand the reasoning of some members if other circumstances prevailing among Jehovah's Witnesses in Mexico are reviewed. As a result of the Mexican Revolution, and because of the Catholic Church's long history of holding immense quantities of land and other property in the country, the Mexican Constitution forbids any religious organization the right to own property. Churches and church property are, in effect, held in custody by the government, which allows the religious organizations to use these. Due to past exploitation by foreign clergy, no foreign missionaries or ministers are allowed to function as such in Mexico. What has this resulted in for the witness organization?
The administration of the headquarters organization of Jehovah's Witnesses long ago decided that because of Mexican law, Jehovah's Witnesses there would present themselves not as a religious organization, but as a cultural organization. The local corporation there formed La Torre del Vigia is so registered with the government of Mexico. So Jehovah's Witnesses in Mexico do not speak of having religious meetings or Bible meetings, but of having cultural meetings. At these meetings they have no prayers or songs, and this is also true of their larger assemblies. When they engage in door-to-door activity, they only carry Watchtower literature, which they say the Watchtower Society provides as an aid to them in their cultural activity. They do not carry the Bible while in such activity, since that would identify them as engaging in a religious activity. A group of witnesses in a given area is not called a congregation, but a company. They do not speak of having baptisms, but do the same thing under the name of performing the symbol.
Unbelievable. I'd forgotten all this. This double talk is not done because of living in some totalitarian country that takes repressive measures against freedom of worship. It is done largely to avoid having to comply with government regulations regarding the ownership of property by religious organizations. Nor should it be thought that the arrangement is something originating with the Mexican witnesses themselves. It is an arrangement worked out and put into effect by the international headquarters at Brooklyn. It is interesting to contrast the deliberate elimination of prayers and songs at witness meetings in Mexico with the action of the society in the United States, where they were willing to fight case after case all the way up to the Supreme Court of the country, rather than give up certain practices, such as offering literature from door to door without a license, and without having to register with the police, the right to use sound cars, distribute literature on street corners, and many other such practices, which are covered by constitutional rights. The organization did not want to relinquish any of these things. It fought to hold on to them, even though these particular practices are certainly not things that were done by the early Christians in the first century, and hence cannot be counted as among primary Christian practices.
But congregational or group prayer was a primary religious practice in early Christian meetings, and has been among servants of God from time immemorial. The Mexican government says nothing against prayer at religious meetings. Jehovah's Witnesses, however, are instructed to say that their meetings are not religious. Few things could be viewed as more completely related to worship of God, as more purely spiritual than prayer. When an imperial decree in Persia prohibited prayer to anyone except to the king for a period of 30 days, the prophet Daniel considered the issue so crucial that he risked position, possessions, and life itself in violating the decree. The headquarters organization, however, considered it expedient to sacrifice congregational prayer among Jehovah's Witnesses throughout Mexico. With what benefit, what accruing advantage by giving up congregational prayer and song and the use of the Bible in public witnessing activity, the organization can retain ownership of society property in Mexico and operate free from the governmental regulations that other religions comply with. They are willing to say that their organization is not a religious organization, that their meetings are not religious meetings, that their witnessing activity is not religious activity, that baptism is not a religious act, when in every other country of the world, Jehovah's Witnesses are saying just the opposite.
Yeah, that's incredible, unbelievably ironic, since they've just been talking about people's consciences being trained. And you're not allowed to read the Bible or pray together. It's no wonder they didn't have a problem with bribery.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
So we wanted to link the contrast to this. They cited by them themselves here, by Ray Franz anyway, which is Daniel under Babylonian conditions and then Persian conditions in the court, the royal courts of both nations, both empires. What's his attitude to all of this? And what is he persecuted for? We did a whole series on Daniel. You can access the playlist. The particular one we want to link to today is an early one, which is Daniel, a witness, yes, but not to the name. What does Daniel do in Babylon? What's he known for, and what's he not known for? And among those things is using the divine name in public.
And praying. He prayed in spite of being told he can't pray.
Yeah.
Even today there are cases like that in countries you wouldn't expect. You're not allowed to pray in public.
Yeah. See you next time.